Hello and welcome back to another live stream. I'm Face Motion and today we are jumping back into Space Engineers Areas at War. The past few days I have been banging my head and trying a number of different approaches to getting a little donkey hauler up and running. And it's been it's been a journey, let me say. My original intent was essentially kind of creating I wanted a mechanic which was optimized for the different environments. So I wanted something, this is what I originally started with, and I will go back and see if I can get this to work more effectively than it currently does. But essentially it was about having a kind of a lifter vehicle and then some kind of cargo container. Underneath, the lifter vehicle was going to be optimized for the current environment, which in this environment is atmospheric. And the cargo container was going to be optimized for space. It was hard to get anything working kind of reliably with this combination and with the AI blocks. So I stepped back and I decided I would go with kind of a more simpler approach. The idea being that simpler is better. And I came up with essentially kind of a cargo pod with just some engines strapped to it. Originally I tried to keep this as simple as possible without too many big thrusters. And for maneuvering thrusters I tried to go with iron. But I needed too many iron engines to get a thrust that allowed me to maneuver reliably with this thing being fully fueled. So then I went back to the drawing board and I said, like, okay, fudge it, and let's just go with hydrogen thrusters. And so that's what I did. And I have manually flown this around and I feel that it's kind of working okay. It's got the lift that it needs when it's fully loaded. It's pretty heavy when it's fully loaded. And it's able to maneuver in 0G in space. So this is what I got. This is a little donkey hauler. That's what I call it for now. If you have a better name, I'm all ears. More than happy to take some comments on this. So this thing's been set up. It's pretty simple. It's just two cargo containers inside with a hydrogen tank in the middle. The original premise was this would ferry ingots and hydrogen up to the station. So it's got a large tank in the middle, and it's got a bunch of small tanks around the outside. Been given a bit of shape. It doesn't look too bad. I think it looks okay. I think. At the moment it's got a helm on there, just so we can kind of get things set up and programmed and that sort of stuff. It's got a bunch of event controllers and timers, and I've installed PAM on it. PAM has a mining mode, and it also has a cargo mode, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's what I've come up with. I think it's going to work. We're going to try it now. Before we go, let's just make sure that our miners are busy. So I'm going to make sure that this one is off to continue its job, which is to fetch iron. We are going through a ton of iron with the refit on the station. So here we have PAM set up. We have PAM set up on the miners, and we also have PAM set up on this base. So look, so this thing should. This is it. It's already off. Okay, where are you? You're up there. Okay. One other thing I did do is I got the laser antenna finally up and running. Now we have the safe zone down on our station. This thing is able to work, which is good. So here we go. Okay. So this is our forward direction. PAM is set up. I've got a bunch of event controllers set up attached to the connectors. So on connect, it will turn off all of the thrusters on the hauler, and it will refill all of its tanks. So that should be good. This thing is pretty clean. I quite like the look of it. I'm quite happy with how it looks. I wanted to go with something that had a kind of a little bit of a shape. Wasn't too boxy. It's still pretty boxy. But yeah, it's good. It's got a kind of battered look to it. But yeah, that's the kind of style that I was going for. So the idea is that this hauler will start from this base. This will be its home base. It will load up with materials. We have Izzy's script set up, and these containers are set up to special, so they pick up iron, magnesium, gold, and coffee. There's our miner over there. And then once it's full, an event controller will kick off and kick off PAM. PAM can also be set up, so we've got multiple options when it comes to that. So without further ado, let's go into our mode. I've set up, PAM has two screens. There's one by my feet, and there's one on this control deck, this helm. Core path and set home. So I've set, just before we kick off, I've set PAM up here, so we have up, down, apply, and we also have a line. So PAM can align the ship to the gravity, wing gravity. So yeah, let's get this going. So record path and set home, come over here. Okay, tanks are on auto, double check thrusters, all the thrusters are running. Yeah, 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 and yeah. Okay. And then basically we're going to go all the way up. And keep on going. We're not using any overrides. I think PAM handles overrides for you. We're going to keep on going until we're at about 0.3 gravities. Through lots of trial and error with atmospheres and that sort of stuff over the past couple of days. Ease off the thrust. Okay, now we're going to orient ourselves with the station. We're going to head towards it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ease off the thrust and I'm going to rotate. And what this does is essentially kind of dampens momentum in all of the directions until you're aligned with where you're trying to go to. So we do have a reticle, that blue thing that you see on the screen. Too fast. So we're at 0.1 gravity, which is good. That reticle is moving closer to the center. There we go. So I'm going to do one more spin until I have the base being what I think is underneath us. Okay. Let's just take a look. By making sure that the base is underneath us, we're making sure that our hydrogen thrusters, the big ones, are actually countering gravity. And we know from the work on the station so far, let's make sure we're not going to crash into the station, that the station is in, I docked it at 0.08 gravities. Okay, so we've dampened our thrust. You can see that we're going at a respectable 10 to 15 meters per second. And now I need to think about my orientation with respect to the station. Let's come up a little bit. It's got a lot of upward thrust. One compromise I did manage to do is have the downward thrust being iron. Because again, I was trying to make sure that we let's come up a bit more. We're kind of on track, I think. We can kind of make sure that you know, we're not going through too much hydrogen in this maneuver. And currently we're at 71%, so that's pretty respectable. Okay, I'm going to come in here. Not too hot, because at the moment we are trying to get PAM set up. I found 3 hydrogen thrusters for lateral movement was enough when this thing is fully loaded. But it was like some 6 small iron thrusters to do it, and then, you know, battery just became so much more of a pain in the arse. Our camera. Okay, we're looking okay. I'm going to dock to that connector that we have here. We have plenty of docking points on this thing. I did go through several iterations to actually reach this point. There was lots of cursing, sacrifices to the god of Clang. So. Not that we had any kind of clang issues. Well, we had a few, but that was on a different tag that we were taking. So we've come in at a kind of decent angle, far enough away from the station for things to align properly. PAM can do a lot of shortcuts between kind of the waypoints that it has. My original goal was that we would use the AI modules, but to be honest, they're not super reliable, especially when we're kind of countering gravity in space and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I had problems sometimes where it just wouldn't record the orientations, and I think that's because of the precision mode. But I did, you know, while doing this, I did come up with a bunch of different ideas on how we can do it better next time around. So I'm not completely giving up on the idea. Get rid of the HUD so I can see. And when it comes to PAM and actually the AI stuff, you know, slow and steady is better for these docking maneuvers. And there we go. So let's hit the dock first, go to our toolbar, and then tell PAM that we are home. So there we go. Cool, good, that worked. A lot less painful than some of the other things that I had. I had issues at one point where it just, I couldn't get the, I couldn't cancel the velocity along a certain vector, and I was ending up like, you know, 15, 20 kilometers away from the station. And it was just, you know, with the iron thrusters, it just wasn't slowing down enough. So we are fully loaded with iron, and we're loaded with as much magnesium. So let's I do need to tweak how Izzy's script is working when it comes to docked containers and that sort of stuff, but for now we're fine. Put that there. Clean that up. And take that off. Disconnect quickly because I haven't yet set those things up. Easy script up, I mean, and then let's go back here and let's tell it to go to the home position. Okay, slight glitch there. Let's fix that. The rotation that's happening at that point, so. Okay. You know, at the end of the day, the PAM script is super reliable. It's probably one of the most used scripts that there is. So it has been battle tested, crash tested. Yeah. So now it's the return journey. We are full of hydrogen. I may end up just bringing ice from the base and handle it that way around, because we've got the cargo containers and we'll just use the hydrogen tanks at the base for filling this thing up. So let's see. Battery is more than enough. The hydrogen, you know, we came up and we used 30% of our capacity getting here, so you know that's enough for 1.5 journey round trips. So fingers crossed on this one. This side of things scares me a bit. So in some of the other testing I had, the number of times I crashed coming in from space into a gravity well on the docking connector was just yeah, was obscene. So yeah, so we're going with a simple approach this time. I do have, as I said, I do have other ideas, especially with the remote control blocks. I want to be able to get those working properly. You know, one of the issues I was facing is that when I was recording waypoints, the reliability of getting those waypoints displayed on the HUD was just non-existent. It was, you know, chaotic. So I still think there's a lot of work that Keen needs to do on that. It scares me a bit because the ion thrusters are not enough to cancel our velocity. Let's see how this goes. .1 gravities. So some maneuvering I was doing before. Probably. I thought it'd be kind of a much more, you know, reach this point and go up and down. There's no visualization with PAM that I know of. Although that would be pretty awesome. This where's the planet? Where's the planet? I noticed that PAM handles the thrust override automatically, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if the AI blocks do. All this maneuvering makes me a little bit anxious. It's probably when I was cancelling the momentum coming to the station by spinning around. Looks like it's coming into the main approach. Oh. This is more cancelling that I was doing, I think. Come on, baby. You can do it. Yeah, I've got 8 iron thrusters on the top of this thing. You know, the effectiveness of iron thrusters is pretty poor. Like even in space. And I don't know if you can actually transition from atmospheric to iron without using hydrogen. Which is yeah, it's pretty annoying. Where are we? Okay, I'm seeing acceleration. I'm not seeing any rotation, which is inducing a little bit of anxiety. Okay. This must be where we transition from vertical to aligning with the station. Fingers crossed. I think Pam has the speed limit hard coded to the game default, so 100 meters per second. This the Ares at War has a mod, or there's a mod that comes with Ares at War, which increases it to 300 meters a second. It'd be really nice if in the next update they do some work on the thrusters to give us a bit more flexibility. But to be honest, I doubt it. Okay, looks like we're at 100, coming down, almost directly above our mining base. We're staying at 100, so that's looking okay. Looks like it's using the thrust override to make sure that happens. It's pretty quick at updating them. So the monitoring side of things around the velocity in PAM is pretty good. I wonder how independent the two things are, you know, the waypoints and the acceleration. This isn't the acceleration that we had something much faster, so it looks like it's managing all itself. Okay, this is kind of roughly the point where I would end up in an uncontrolled descent. That's the things I was doing before. Base, there's our wind generators, turbines. Oh, okay, rotation before docking. Okay, that looks pretty gentle. Snowing here, so yeah, it's locked. The tanks aren't filling up. So that's the only thing that I can notice. They were on stop, so I need to check the event controller. I noticed also that the batteries they're on auto rather than on charge. So I need to check the event controller again for that. So that's on charge, that's on fill. Yeah, that was a successful test. It's loaded up again. So what we will do is we will do one more trip riding on this beast. Switch across to right one. job position, and let's see how she goes. Okay. And if this test works successfully, then we can set up a cargo job, and then it will happily move between the two. We'll probably use event controllers on the base to trigger the disconnect on that docking connector, and then have Pam set up just a watch when it's not connected, and then do the cargo run. And then we do also need to set up the easy script at the station to properly withdraw the items from this. I've had a few problems with this before, so I will need to double check. We may have to use a sorter on that connector. I think I can set up the event controller and the sorter to handle this specific ship by tweaking the name on the bottom connector. So let's have a look. 2-4 gravities, heading towards the station. The gravity's going down. Okay, so far so good. Looks like we're happily approaching the gateway station. 19, 18. Okay, there's the first part of the vector acceleration cancelling maneuver that I did. See the blue reticle, which is the heading that we have, was creeping in the right direction. Distance is going down. I think Pam is handling the things a bit better than I was. 1-6. That directional reticle is kind of moving in the direction that it should do. Distance is going down a bit slowly, but that's okay. So yeah, when it comes to those AI blocks, you know, the flight recorder and showing the stuff on the HUD, it was completely random about when it worked and when it didn't work. You know, sometimes it would show it, sometimes it wouldn't. Yeah, it's just completely bizarre. It's got to be 100% reliable. When it's 100% reliable, people can use it much more. If you look at the workshop and look at stuff that has those AI blocks, you know, there's hardly any that have it, and you know, nothing that has a decent number of votes or subscribers and that sort of stuff. So P gravity is still going down, so that's good. It means that we're not caught by the planet. Distance to the target, to the gateway station, is decreasing. So yeah, battery's looking fine. Hydrogen's okay. Better than we'll see when we're there. I'm not going to necessarily say now whether it's better than my journey. It's probably going to be better, to be honest. Pam is does a pretty efficient job of things. Okay, so gravity is going up and distance is going up as well. 0.17, 1.8. Yeah, this was my worry. So where's the? Yeah, it looks like we are we caught? 9. Acceleration is increasing, but our orientation is not great. 2-4. Yeah, this is not looking good. Yeah. I think we're gonna crash. Let's do a save before, just in case. Yeah, I think we need to abort. Okay. Did we abort? Hello? I'm getting no movement here. Hello? Hello, Mark calling us. 3. And still mode. Where's the planet? Okay. We need to make sure that we have the right looks like we rescued that, which means we have a problem with how we were climbing. So let's take down the thrust override. So that's not super great. So let's cancel the velocity. Should bring it right down. Bring it down to 0. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I've been thinking about this a lot. GPS vector change. Okay. So that was a failure, which is okay. I'm okay with the failure because it gives us something that we can learn from. Okay, let's go back here and let's tell Pam to fly to the home position. And let's do a save just as a safety net. And we're going to go back to our mining base. Now, this is the thing about engineering, is you come up with a design, you come up with an approach, you implement it, you test it out, you learn from it, and then you see about how to improve. So now Pam is taking us back. It should be taking us back to our mining base, and then we're going to go back and we're going to record a new route to the station, but this time we're going to aim for the vector point first. Cancel our momentum. and then go from that point to the station. And I'm kind of hoping that addresses the problem. Come on, baby. Have you guys used PAM before? What are your experiences like with it? Good, bad, ugly? I've used it a lot for mining, and for the mining side of things, it's always been kind of super reliable. I have used it for a couple of cargo ships as well, but those were large grid, so, and they were from moons, not planets. So we're at 50% fuel. Most of the time I've not had any problems with telling the ship to go to the job position or go to the home position from other places. Most of the time. A couple of times I've had issues, but majority of the time it's been fine. Whoa! Are you going to the station? Hello? Okay, a little bit confused. Did I pick the wrong job? Oh, flying to job area, not flying to home area. Okay. My bad. That's fine. Let's actually, we can stop that from here. Get rid of our momentum, and then, did I not say fly to home? I thought I said fly to home. Okay. This is not home, it's the other place is home. Okay, that is a little bit confusing, but kind of looks like are we moving in the right way? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure, that red rectangle is where we're heading to. Is that where we're heading to? Okay, now I'm confused. I thought it was the blue one was heading to. This looks like it's oh no, this looks like it's in reverse. Okay, watching our fuel now. Okay. Looks like it's going down. Station's getting further away. I don't know if PAM, when you're recording a route between home and job, if it records the align command. That's the only problem that with PAM is that sometimes parts of it are a bit like a black box. Like you can't visualize the waypoints, you can't edit the waypoints, that sort of stuff. Which, when everything's working fine, is not a problem, but when you're having issues or headaches or whatever, then it would be helpful. But I seem to remember that somebody's picked it up and taken it over as a project to work on. The original developers are not playing Space Engineers much at the moment. Which is good. That's one of the great things about Space Engineers and the community is that, when mods and projects and that sort of stuff are no longer supported, other people often pick them up and take them over. And at least kind of keep them current with the recent patches from Keen. We kind of know this part works, so yeah. Rather than me kind of babbling on, let me find some music and we should be okay for hydrogen. Okay, this is a little bit worrying. So let's just do a safety save. Because Pam is not Pam doesn't look happy. There's a line. So yeah, altitude is not great. Okay, it's going up. Head towards our base. Yeah, something's gone screw. There. Thrusters are on. Fuel is pretty low. Okay. So let's get a bit of forward velocity up and running. Down a bit. Too fast. And let's take off our dampeners. Save a little bit of fuel. We don't want to go too fast. Close. Slow down. 5. A little bit worried. Doesn't look good. 2, 1. This is a crash situation. No. And it's gonna crash. And it's gonna crash. Yeah. But not a death. Okay. That's good. Okay. That was not good. What went wrong there? I should have just brought the ship in myself. We are still loaded, so we're going to be using more fuel. Okay, so there's a wreck that we need to pick up. Crash donkey. Yeah. Okay. So let's turn that off. We do need to come and get you, but thank you for your service. Let's take a quick look. 1. Okay, we lost 3 thrusters. 3 of the large ones, none of the small ones. I could probably throw some atmospherics on here and take it back that way. But we have a marker for it. We do need to come and get those resources because there's like 120,000 iron on there. And yeah, I think the problem was that we didn't get clear enough of gravity on the PAM waypoints, and well, as you saw, we got caught by the gravity well when PAM was maneuvering, and I think me cancelling that thrust is also something that kind of messed PAM up a bit. But this is why we create blueprints. Need to build a better set of stairs across to this place. But we have our projection terminal all set up. Small ship projector on, and let's pick it's called Hydro Cargo Pod. Let's have a look. Ah, shoot. Yes, I was a complete nab, and I took a blueprint when it was connected to the base. Yeah. Okay. Now there is God, what an idiot. You can see under the base anyway. Look, this is a little bit of a mess. I'm not super happy with how this is, and I do want to fix that at some point. We can't edit blueprints like this. So there's two approaches here. One is I can align this with the base, and then it will print out the where's the ship? Where is the ship? Hello? Did I... What's going on? It's did I take a picture of the... that would have been... Okay. So to fix that, there's two options. I can align it with the base and do it that way around, or I can go into creative mode and do that, or I can go and or I can actually just go and take a blueprint of the crash ship, which is what we will do. So let's turn that off to save a bit of performance, and let's go over here. I think I took a blueprint of the base, and because this is a subgrid, but that's a small ship projector, and the base is large grid, so I'm a little bit confused. So we'll take a blueprint of this. That is the back. There's one. I didn't rename it. I was going to rename it, but I didn't rename it. Bugger. Try that again. I'm still confused. Like, this is a small ship projector, so it should not. Yeah, this is something looks weird here. Yeah, 527. That is a better. It's a better look for it. I'm still confused. So not that way around. That way. That looks better. Good lesson here on what not to do. Okay, let's go and have a look. That bottom connector's banjacks anyway. So it needs to go to the left one. That's roughly aligned, I think. There is some damage, but it's not a ton of damage. You know, if I put a few more of the blast door edges around this vulnerable piece under here, then I think we would be good. Not that I am planning many crashes, but you know, you never know. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so that looks okay. Do I need to bring it down a touch? No, I'll keep it where it is. I'll keep it where it is, I think. Measure twice, cut once. But that looks aligned. Definitely along in that direction. This looks aligned in that direction. So I think we're gonna be okay. But you know, engineering is not an exact science, so that's what I'm telling myself. Carry on with the old hazard lines yellow. Point. Come on. Be shy. Are you touching? Touch it. the joy of half blocks. There you go, that's touching. Definitely touching. Maybe it was actually touching before. So that's done. Let's turn on Bob. And let's see where we're at. Hydrogen, but we don't have any oxygen. And we do have to fix this baby up. Sunlight. It came out actually, it survived the crash far better than I could have hoped. Most of the stuff is just superficial. There's a little bit, here and there, but not a great deal. Help that one. This stuff isn't really attached. Looks like if you take a blueprint of a damaged ship, the damage gets translated into the blueprint. Which is fun. Help it out a little bit. Looks like it's aligned. Only a small amount of droppage, but I think we should. This is one of the interior hydrogen tanks. This is one of the awesome things about Quality's ship construction. Because it gets the stuff that's inside. The only area where it can get a little bit finicky, and that's not while it's space engineers, is gyros. Sometimes, things are built out of order. Most of these are kind of purely replicas, but they can do affect the function of the ship. Bob makes a good complement to helping out yourself. Things do definitely move across even on that scale. Another one. I like it a lot. I think Bob should actually be hired for games, something like this. And then it's something you can use if you want to use, or if you don't, then it's fine. It's no different to a welder. Well, that's my opinion. If you have a different one, let me know. And I've seen the terrain manipulator version of Valve as well. I like the terrain manipulation part of it. I'm not that keen on the using it for mining. But in terms of terrain manipulation, I think it's a cool concept. And maybe even warrant some being in the game. I think it'd be wise for them to look at what the community is doing. And see if it is something that should be part of the core game. And if not, then updating things like APIs and interfaces to make it easier for people to implement and do. Because the community should have a voice, and while they may not like the feature, like the terrain manipulation stuff, it's something that somebody in the community wants, and people are using and is being voted for and subscribed to and that sort of stuff. So updating the programming interfaces in the game to support those things better will only make the game more stable and reliable. So Keen, if you're watching, doubt if you're watching, but it's nice if you are, keep it in mind. Take that feedback. Feedback is good. Metal grid. Pretty short. Yeah, I don't have the auto-crafting set up. Building repair, telling us that we need construction computers and metal grade. Computers, components. Once a name kind of gets stuck in your head, it's kind of sometimes difficult to get it out. Let's grab some interior plate while we're here. Or do we? Oh, we those away because I was painting earlier. Ba-dum-ba-dum. So yeah, I'm quite liking the donkeys so far. There is a bit of work to do, but I think that's the error was between the monitor and the screen and the keyboard lead. And what are you missing? Construction components. Just focus on have some power sounds. Bob. And blasters, blast edges. So construction components, and I'm going to check power cells. The power cells is different. Girder. Components, girders. As well, in case we have another crash. Okay, so while that is doing that part, I'm going to check the conveyor network. So one of the tools, one of the plugins that we have asks to what the conveyor network looks like. Because it's not connected to the main grid, you see this is in a different colour. The pink balls are basically the connectors, and I'm looking for any different colour lines in here, or any kind of dead ends, which would show up in red. Red can be kind of dead ends, or it can be not constructed pieces yet. But that's looking okay. It's looking symmetrical. There's a bit that was just been done, but that's being constructed at the moment, so that's fine. And I think that comes from building code. So that's pretty handy. It's built in. There is another plugin that you can install which does this, but this is all part of the build-in code, which is a tool that most people have installed. So because everything was connected to the same grid, it means that the fixes to the thrusters that we just did, adding them in when we were crashed just now, they're all connected. There's no disconnected grids inside. So this is easy going. I notice I'm missing another tab. From these things, these coloured. And it's understandable that those are missing from the. Oh, it's actually missing from all of this side. So that might be an oversight on my part. Let's put them in. They're only light armour. I wanted to make sure I saved on weight. What colour do we have? It should be green. So Shift P. Looks like it's painting as well. I think those ones are yellow. I know it's minor, but try and be a tiny bit consistent. Just a tiny bit. What's that? Colour again. And then put those on. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. And it looks like we're missing an edge there as well. Which way around was it? Like that, I think. A little bit more. It's the same colour. And then these ones were one of the corners, not that one. What was it? Okay, I think that's on the. I'm still getting to grips with these all these kind of corner pieces. I think it's that one. Yeah. There's one. Okay. It looks about right. I don't hear any more work from Bob. I was thinking about putting some... You know, when we came down hard just now, it was these two thrusters and one of those over there. I think a few more blast edges would be good. But I'm not exactly sure where to put them. And now I'm worrying that these ones are kind of the wrong way around. It should be oriented pointing down. But that's something we can fix another time. For now, I want to get back to setting up Pam and see if we can overcome that issue with getting caught in the gravity well again. Because that went more pear-shaped than I was actually I was expecting on our second test. It's a good thing we did the second test, otherwise we'd have you know, a hunger junk somewhere that we'd have to address. Now comes the true test. That's powered. That is powered. Are we able to... Okay, not you. Let's try. Okay. That looks like it landed nicely on the connector. I didn't even hear Bob come in to repair anything, so... Okay, good. It's looking good. Maybe a little bit of work that we have to do, but yeah, I don't like that exposed connector. Probably the same with this side. No, I think I did a better job on this side. I know it's a tiny detail. Looks like those gyros got connected okay. Sweet. Okay. Now the connector's connected, which means our thing should have kicked in theory, but it doesn't look like that that did. Why is it telling me that the battery... Yeah, the event controller doesn't always attach properly. Let me just check the because we're on the grid, it's showing everything. It'd be nice if there was a filter here. You could show stuff that's only on the connected grid, but yeah, there wasn't. So, well, hey, store power. Why is that not the connector's not shown as well? It's because it's going to have the wrong name. Because it got bamjaxed and we took the blueprint, this is not going to be named properly. Oh. And that's not done. The configuration of these, so let's use build vision. That's the wrong one. No, that's all right. Copy. Paste. Make sure these are set up right. It's not set up right. This is a really useful feature of Build Vision, copying and pasting attributes. So that looks fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, they're good. These look fine. Okay, 1 second. Let me just make sure that my I can see any chat. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Let's check out the thrusters first. Of course, I can't actually spell today. So up. So these 3 from the group. These 3 got destroyed. Okay. So the thrusters got destroyed, some light armor blocks. That's okay. Let's add the bottom connector back into our switch lock, and then we're going to have to deal with the imminent controller. So dock procedure, connector connected. It's the top, it's not the bottom. So let's add that. So this basically, when the connector connects, procedure doesn't become correct. Let's check these actions a second. That should probably be all tanks now, considering we changed it. Yeah, that's the recharge. So this handles recharging the tanks and the batteries. And this one handles the engines. So that is, we actually changed how things are. People thrusters, so when it's connected we want to turn them off, when it's not connected we want to turn them on. Okay, so we have 2 separate event controllers, one which handles kind of refilling, so refilling tanks, refilling batteries, that sort of stuff, and we have the other one for handling thrusters. We could put them all into the same one, but sometimes when you're debugging and trying to figure out things that are going a bit squirrely, then it's better to keep them separate. At least I found it better to keep them separate. So that's just my experience. Okay, so now let's just test that it's working. So disconnect. Whoop! Oh! What the heck? What happened there? That's still on fill. That's still on charge. It should be on auto. See, this is why we test. Because those thrusters, those side thrusters are not on. I had this problem before. That includes the up thrusters. And the down. Yeah, so now they're on. Yeah, sometimes these toggles I found to be yeah, not always reliable. So let's get a little bit of a kilter. We've been saved by the not unwelding those things. So let's address that now. So that's on auto. So we should. Oh, it's because we're locked. Ah, it's the wrong way around. What's going on? What is going on? Auto. Yeah, did it again. Is it not turning those thrusters on? Now we're bouncing. So let's fix the bounce. Yeah. There's a weird thing with the toggle sometimes. It's not behaving. I think I'll keep that there. I might actually make it a little bit bigger. Just until we finish figuring out what's going on with this what's going on? Okay. Engines on. I'm not sure what the problem is with the event controller, but let's fix that thing first. So thrusters. I'm going to switch this to be all thrusters, and I'm going to say toggle blocks on, and I'm going to check that all thrusters is actually all thrusters. Okay, so that's the first issue. Is this is not connected to anything. Thrusters. Man, what's that showing now? Used to be all thrusters. So that is on. Are they all actually on now? Okay. So now if I this the thrusters are off. And we're not locked. What the hell is going on here? HCP, all thrusters on. Tanks are not on refill. Is it the batteries? Stockpile. These are all the tanks that are not on stockpile. I don't understand why they're not why these aren't on. says the power is on. Those are showing red. Is the ship off? No, it's not off. Now it's off. Now it's on. Now it's working. Let's right the ship. Disconnect. That was weird. The ship was on. But it didn't, the thrusters didn't come on until I repowered the ship. Make sure the tanks are full. It's on auto. Batteries need charging. I don't understand what the problem was there. That doesn't really make much sense. I'm a little bit worried. Okay. Dock procedure connected on the bottom. So it's either of those. Actions are all thrusters connected, thrusters are off. Disconnected, all thrusters are on. Anything on subsequent pages? 5, 6, 7, 8. They're fine. So that should handle turning the thrusters clockwise. And then this one is... I get it. I didn't add it to this one. Okay. So when I was disconnecting, it wasn't making sure that the batteries and the tanks, so the tanks, this is stockpile on when it's connected, stockpile off when it's disconnected, and recharge on off when we're connected, and also when we are disconnected. Okay, that is what the problem was. So let's have a test. We're going to go kilter again. No. There you go. Okay. Charge and fill. Now it's working. So before on the toolbar, like the one slot was just the up thrusters. So I've changed it now to be all thrusters just so we can make sure that we're good. Okay. We should be about ready. I say about, because not quite. To do another test, but before I do, I go to the arse of this thing, which is this way. Make sure we're using the right grid. The name is changed. So this. The name set properly. I guess it's because we printed it. There we go. Again. So I've been trying to be consistent when I take blueprints and things, and onto the arse of the ship, just to make it easier when setting up the this is quite good too, so good. Keep that, and I want to back up at the moment because of what happened earlier. We were connected to so let's reconnect up. What happened with taking a blueprint of the entire grid. So yeah, okay. So that is good, that is good. Those things are working. The batteries are only 53% at the moment, but that should be fine because we only have a few iron thrusters, fingers crossed. We can go back into getting PAM set up again. Okay, so the process this time around, we created a waypoint. Which was out of, in point one gravity. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off, we're going to go vertical. So we'll take off, we'll hover, we'll align, then we'll go vertical. We'll go to that waypoint that we set up called vector change. You can see on the HUD just there. And then once we're at vector change, then we will head towards the station. And when we hit vector change, basically we're going to wait until our velocity is 0, and then we're going to head to the station and see if that addresses the issue that we had just now. So before we head off, we're going to do one more thing, because we're going to be practicing coming back into land with PAM. Take these things out of the way. Otherwise, I imagine that things can pear-shaped. Back. Okay, that's looking good. You can see one of our auto miners going off and fetching themselves some iron. So that's locked. We know this part is working now, so we can do that. Come down to PAM, look at our little screen. And we're going to record path and set home. Okay, go to 1. Come out for view. Thrusters are on. Come up. Just a little bit, maybe to 20. Go back to PAM and make sure we're aligned. Now we're going to climb. And we're going straight up. there's no altitude listing. We're going to come up until we hit about 0.2 gravities. Something like this. Going to wait for it to settle. There's our vector change marker. There's our gateway. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if we need to go to the vector change marker. I will hit another align here, just to make sure we're properly aligned with things. So we are out of gravity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go upside down. Something like this. Get the planet above us. We are out of gravity, so there's a bit of lag there. And that's going to cancel our velocity. And then I'm going to rotate back until I have roughly the planet underneath us. A little bit more. Okay. And now I'm gonna... what am I gonna do? I think I'm just gonna head towards the station. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the thing to do. So where is the... too many markers on my map now. Gateway. Gateway is over here. There we go. Just reset my camera. And I'm hoping this fixes the getting caught in the gravity line. I will make sure the bottom of the ship is aligned with the planet. Because it is in gravity. Take our dampeners off. Come up to 50. So our little blue marker is in the right place, which means the vector is that's where we're going. You know, if anything, thinking back, I think the gateway might be having it in the gravity well was about making the lift from the mining station to the gateway simpler. But I think that might have been a mistake. Mistakes were made. There's always a few. So we are loaded. We need to clear up the bookmarks a little bit. But we'll do that when we're on a critical path like now. And because we've been manually flying, we're at 79%, which is okay. We get to 3 and then we're going to put our dampers on. Now, while playing about with different approaches to cargo routes, I have crashed many times. know if there's a kind of crash counter in the game. There should be. So we put our dampeners on at 3 kilometers. We're traveling at 50, and after 1 kilometer we've dumped about half of our speed. So we can come up now to about 30. We should be able to coast in. So we had a safe zone on the station for a bit, but it was just too inconvenient getting the zone chips. So the other day, in one of the early episodes, we loaded it with guns. So it should be okay now from any incoming from GC. Solar panel, which I think means that it should be on our left, yeah, like this. Now let's bring it in nice and steady, which is where we find out we're not properly aligned with the docking connectors, but that's fine. I think we are on the wrong plane. There by the look of it. Nice things about this station is that it's got a few different docking positions for us. Okay, we're at about 30% fuel usage, which is expected. That's what we had before. Let's come in here, roughly line up with this thing. Okay. So there's the docking connector that we're going to use. Bit, and then change our orientation to match that of the station. Okay. And then come in without crashing would be good. So our earlier run dropped off a chunk of iron into the station. It looks like the assemblers have been busy, and Bob has been busy to get things fixed up. I put a chunk of spotlights on because I wanted something that made it look like a military zone here. All of the camouflage armor in place. Okay, so that looks like it's aligned in that direction. Not quite aligned here. There you go. That should do it. I'm going to trust my... There we go. Bring back the HUD. Do the lock, and then handle pan. There you go. So the home position has been set, and that is down on the mining station. The job position has been set, which is up here on the station. That was successful. Around 30% fuel being used, which is fine. Confused why that wasn't on fill, but we're gonna have to check that out again. And this should also be on charge. But the battery's at 90%, that's fine for the ion thrusters that we have. Okay, so that's done, Let's check our inventory, which is still full. So let's empty that out. Let's do it the other way around. Let's get this ready. Ready for flight to home. And then we can just hit 3. And then after we're sure this is working as it should, we will we need to come back and set up the ISI so that it properly drains. These things, check the thrusters, they're on. Those two are on auto, so the battery's on auto and the tanks are on auto. Okay, so this is test number 1. This is where we take it back to our mining outpost. We are at 100% hydrogen when we started. And I think, you know, the as I said before, the PAM stuff is pretty good. So usage should be fairly low. And this time around, we've not done any futzing with spinning around a few times to cancel momentum, which I think might have been causing PAM the issue beforehand. We did spin around, but we inverted, dumped the velocity, and then we put it back again. So let's see if that's okay this time around. Last time around we recorded this, you know, we were okay coming back to the mining base, but it got lost coming back to the station, so. Let's see if it's fixed this time around. Beautiful view, isn't it? Captain Arthur did a pretty good job of this scenario. The planets are really spectacular. Nice contrasting colours. Really pretty landscape. I saw him pop into another stream the other day, so it looks like he's still around. Although I might have been watching one of the back issues from this content creator, so it may have been 6 months ago. I lost track. So here we go. Yeah, good. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Saturday here in Berlin, the weather is damp and humid. My daughter comes back from being at her mother's for a week today, so I'm pretty excited about seeing her. Let's just see where we are. Okay, so we have no gravity at the moment, so it's just manoeuvring back into the position that we were before. And I'm a bit more confident this time around that it's going to work. Like the landing side, I think it'll be fine. But coming back to the station, I'm fairly confident that it will it'll be successful. I think last time around, the issue was trying to dump the velocity. As you can see at the back, is it at the back? No, it's the front of the ship. I've got some of the AI blocks on there. Because I do want to try those again. And see if we can get them to work a bit more reliably. But again, it's super hard to debug issues with those AI blocks when it's not showing the waypoints on the HUD. Not in a reliable way. You know, I did get it to show a couple of times, but you know, it was not. Not in a way that gave me any confidence. And then when you have issues, it's like you're in the dark. Okay, so this should be the descent phase. We don't have any gravity at the moment. We did make sure that we were aligned. The only thing I could have done differently, I think, is while we were in P gravity, just using the align command of PAM again. We used it once when we undocked, but I think maybe doing it again when you're much further from the planet, but within P gravity. Okay, so P gravity is going up. 0.8 or 0.08 is where the station is. So now we're roughly aligned with the orbit of the station. Orbit. I wish there was proper orbits. That would be fun. Okay, so I'm watching the speed. I think PAM is hard coded to 100 meters per second. And that was the warning that I had before. When I started seeing the speed while PAM was running to be over 100 meters per second, it made me feel that PAM was not in control. This looks like a fairly good descent, which is what we expect. Ba-da-ba-dum. Crash donkey. He's going to pick her up. I think I'm just going and slapping some atmospherics on her, some large ones. Will be enough. I don't have a tug, an atmospheric tug. But I was thinking the other day, like, I've been trying to sort a few things out here and create this kind of repeatable patterns that we can use elsewhere. But it does feel like I've spent a lot of time either at the gateway station or on this mining base. It does have a lot of what we need, so that's fine. Oh, we're more than good for ammo now, both at the station and at our ship. That nice big magnesium patch. This last part is always a little bit scary. Take this off. Of course, I can't see the velocity now. Also at the not my favorite port for this stuff. Okay, it was a nice graceful landing. Okay, so that was successful. That's what we thought it would be. The event controller for this bottom connector is not it's not working great. It should be going on to fill. I don't know whether it's just a UI glitch or whether it's an issue, but it's showing us off, which I do not like. Okay. So that's done, and we've also recorded the path with Pam. So what I'm going to do is disconnect, jump off, and I'm going to take another blueprint, because that will blueprint Pam as well, so the waypoints and the route and everything else that we've set up. So that's cargo pod 3. So those all should be recorded now as part of the blueprint. Let's connect up. See, now it's on fill and charge. It may be that it's Pam that's turning those things off. So we'll have to look at the settings for those in a bit. That's good, 100%. Charge is almost a full battery, so not much to worry about. Let's go down here. So we're at the home position. Let's go back to Pam and tell it to fly to the drop position. Drop position done. Here it goes. Go up. Get a view. There's a nice ascent. And this is where things went bam-jacks last time. You know, we managed to record the path to the station. We came back from the station to the mining base. That part was fine. It was when we retested that last piece that we got a bit screwed. Which is why, why we test. It's why I tested it in the first place, because, as I said, a number of times I crashed or ended up deep in space, 30 kilometers from the gateway. I was testing stuff before with the AI blocks. I lost count. I think I got up to test 30 something. Okay, so let's just bring that there. Where's the gateway? Okay, go that way. But again, this is one of the things I like about this game. You know, it's fairly easy to build ships. It's fairly easy to kind of get into space and that sort of stuff. Once you have access to hydrogen and those things, once you're able to kind of build all of the components, then doing stuff is pretty fast. Building new ships, trying out ideas and that sort of stuff, I think it's pretty quick. So you get to experiment really quickly. The mods like build and repair, they help a lot in this idea testing phase, which allows you then to focus on the fun engineering type challenges, building different ships, saying what if, trying to use atmospheric and ion, and the combination of the two to get out of gravity well. I like that aspect to it very much. So we're at point 1. We're still reaching the place where we make that change. we're much higher now, so point A, equivalent to where the station is. It should go into 0G. Which means it can handle cancelling the velocity and realigning our vector much better than we were doing before. Okay, it's decreasing now, which means we're approaching that zero space, which is good. If I switch across to the one toolbar, yeah, we see Pam tweaking the thrust overrides a bit. Now we're in 0G. We are a little bit far from our gateway station. The distance is increasing, but you know, this was done on purpose to overcome that issue that we had before. So now basically we're approaching our gateway station from being in 0G. Last time around when we did this test, we got caught by the gravity well and Pam couldn't compensate for it. Because we have uneven thrusters. So now this is our vector change where it's dumping the velocity. The majority of our thrust is right at the bottom, so that's good. That's what we wanted. This should come down to 0 now. And then it's going to reorient itself. Oh, it didn't go down to 0. Okay. What is Pam telling us that it's doing? Okay. So it's moving on to the next. Where's the gateway? So I'm looking at the target distance here. Waypoint count is 293, waypoint left is 267. Okay, so now it should be doing the acceleration. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing, but okay, reorienting the planet roughly underneath us, and there's the gateway. We see the blue reticle, which is coming from another mod that I have. It kind of projects out the vector that you have to where you're going to end up. So it's kind of where I'm expecting to be. Yeah, now the planet is more underneath us, which is where our main thrusters are, which is what we did before. And we see the distance between us and the gateway station decreasing. Okay, so now I'm watching the velocity and the P gravity. So we're accelerating in. As I said, the station is at 0.08. And we're making sure that as we start encountering the gravity, that our speed is not going to be going above 100 meters a second. Which would mean that everything's going to go okay. If we see our speed creeping above 100 meters a second, it means that we're in the gravity well and Pam is not really in control. But I think we should, as I said, I think we should be okay this time around. We did come out far enough, which is part of our plan for the flight plan. We did make sure that our main thrusters, the bottom thrusters, were aligned with the planet, because they're powerful. A short burst on those, and you do get a lot of velocity. So this is looking, so far this is looking good. 4 kilometers away. I do see the circle on the right that shows you the artificial horizon. That's been filled. And then if I look at peak gravity, I see that I'm in 0.05. But that's okay. Okay, the blue reticle is in the right place. Velocity's looking good. Distance is decreasing. Save has happened. I really need to look at this this mod that projects these blue reticles, and the red one and that green one that you see, because I'm not exactly sure what the green one means. Do want to check my oxygen. I should have charged up my my oxygen tank. Hopefully, I'm not going to die before we get there. Well, this is looking good. The distance is decreasing. Peak gravity is looking fine. Velocity is not out of bounds. This part was a little bit slow because I wasn't quite sure of the orientation. I should put some like running lights on the station to help with orientation. Okay. Looking good. I'm quite hopeful. And I think if this works without any issues, then we can consider this this hauler, this little donkey that we made, a success. Okay, peak gravity is almost at 0.08. Distance is less than a kilometer. Speed is looking fine. I think we got it. Although I'm not going to count my chickens before they're hatched. Okay, last part of the approach, we accelerated. Tried to guess the orientation, we did a bit of moving. When it's full, like I have 4 gyros on this thing, which is more than enough for this thing when it's full. I think we can go down to about 50% power on them, and it's, you know, when we're fully laden it's fine, and then when we're empty it can go down pretty low. So I'm quite happy about the number of those. Feels like we've been at 800 meters for a long time. Maybe taking everything off was not a good idea. Let's simplify stuff a little. There you go. Okay, 600. 12% oxygen. And the question is, are we going to get there before I die? There's no O2 on this thing. It's got a helm, but that's going to come off once we're confident it's working. And that's why I put that additional screen on this thing, so once we take the helm off, then it's still nice to see what Pan is up to. Okay, that's us trying to align. 10% oxygen. Yeah, we were trying to figure out what the right approach was and where those docking things were. Well, that should pick up now. There you go. That's when we realized that it was on the other side, I think. 7% oxygen. I may have to jump out and go and refuel and let this finish its last piece on its own. I'm getting nervous. I should really look up to see if O2 consumption is higher when you're in when it's freezing outside. It would make it more realistic, but 5%, still 300 meters away. I want to shout, come on, get a move on. You know, this is one of the nice things about the AI blocks when they're working. And when you can see them is that you can edit the waypoints that are there. And I will do a version of this that works with those. Okay, now we're at 3. I'm gonna jump out, I think. Okay, let's go and get some oxygen because we're pretty close, and we're gonna we'll see what happens. Automatic doors, I love them. Hopefully we won't hear a big kaboom. Okay. Sub this into replenish. No. Oh, that was too many. Too back. I realized the other day, like I had my O2 bottles were disappearing, and that was because I had a cargo container on hidden. Don't show, and yeah, they were all in there. So let's come out this way. There's our pod. Come up here. A rather steep angle. Looks like it's coming for an attack run. This is an earlier test cargo pod that I had, which made it to the station but had other issues. As you can see, this one's primarily iron based, and yeah, it was not surviving well. I should get that one to be cleaned up by Bob doing a repair. There you go. It's coming in. Let's watch. Last part. Will it do it? Drum roll. Yes! Nice! Okay, cool. That is successful. I know it's been a little bit monotonous. Monotonous. But yeah, so this is we started out from the mining base. We set up pan to go from the connector on the mining base to the gateway station. Then we tested it out, and it went back to the mining base without any hitches. But coming back to the station from the ground, it got caught in the gravity well, and yeah, it crashed. Not a major crash, but lost a few engines. It's still on the ground that we need to go and pick up, because there's 120,000 iron on that thing. So that didn't work. So then we basically we went back again, and this time around we took off from the planet. We stayed vertical. We came out until we had 0 gravity, and then from that point we came to the station. And this approach worked. So I'm pretty happy with how that went. So let's come over here now. Okay, and we're at 73% hydrogen. So it's a little bit better than us flying by hand, but actually not a great deal. It's like 3 or 4%. Those tanks are still on auto rather than fill. Okay, that's good. And what is next? What's next is let's check this antenna. It's on. Show ship name on. And we need to make sure this is named antenna donkey hauler 1. Let's also set the grid name properly. Okay, so that's done. Let's let's disconnect it from the grid. Engines are coming on okay. That's good. Let's go back. Make one more blueprint. Should call it the right name. Donkey Hauler 1. Yep. Okay. Nice. And I guess actually we can we see it? Donkey Hauler 1. Control. Actually, I'm going to need a... okay, I'm not going to deal with that part now, because there's a few other things I want to do. But basically I need to make sure that we have a camera above this screen, so we're able to properly control this remotely. At the moment, I'm not sure we can. Actually, maybe we can. Let's just check. Okay. Terminal. Where's the helm? Now control. No, it's the remote lock, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, we can control it from here. But I should set up the camera so we can handle that stuff properly. In the meantime, I'm just going to send it home from here. So the screen, go to hand control. Right hand position. Okay. Get out of the way. The helm on the top doesn't really matter much at the moment. Looks like it's stuck on the connector. Yeah. So there is a trick to dealing with this. So you're ready to lock, unlock, and then basically the trick is set up an event controller on the connector so that when it disconnects, you turn the block off for a period of time. So use an event controller and a timer block. And there you go. That's going to happily go off to the mining base. And let's double check now. So we've brought up a ton of iron. I'm making sure that all of the guns and defences have been built. I rejig things a little bit. So down here, this is cleaner and slightly further apart. This is all heavy armour around these things now. I've only put heavy armour on the topmost piece, and then for some of these I've put these blast edges on the other. I am wondering if, like, the back side of this I should put heavy armour on as well. And I'm a little bit worried about how exposed these cargo containers are. Over here, we've got guns on the side, the turrets, Gatlings, and then we've got autocannons at the top, and then we've got artillery down the bottom. I've gone through and I've made sure that heavy armour is all around here, and I've tried to give this an edge. This still needs a little bit of work. I don't like having these exposed as they are at the top. I think they're better down the bottom. Yeah. But I didn't really want it looking like a huge block, which currently it does. But these are hydrogen tanks, and you know, one stray shell on them, and they're going to blow, and that's going to blow up the inside of the station. And given that I've got heavy armor around the outside, it's probably going to push the blast inside, and yeah, it's going to go badly. I've only got this decoy block here at the moment. I do want to go around and put some more on. And they also need to be set up. So we've got that. We've got these spotlights around. So that's that part. We've got guns underneath all of our docking parts. Except this one. That was a bit of lag. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't see anything red. Okay. Got a little gun on the end here. Of course, we've got our main ship here as well. And then on this side, I put some things at the top, just here. I do need to block off the panels that I have here, because I did a bit of rework. Last time around when I was first kind of putting these things in place, I put way too many guns on here. So I clean it up a lot. Let's match this, because I didn't want to go like I felt that there were too many. So I moved them around into positions that we already had, and ended up with this configuration here where we have kind of a rocket launcher here and here. We've got artillery on this level, just 3 of them, and then we've got some autocannons here. And these are weapons from the Warfare 2 DLC editions. So it's a mod from Steam. So far this looks okay. It's not been tested yet, and you know, there is a bit of work I need to do with kind of cleaning up some of these edges. You know, there's some gaps here that shouldn't really have gaps in. But what I did do is I cleaned out this top part. This top part I did on stream. So there's kind of this reinforced bulkheady type thing with these blast edges down here. I love these kind of bunker-esque windows. But then what I did do is I kind of, as I said I was going to do, I cleaned out the interior and took out any block that was not adding value. If we go over this side, come up here, you'll see what I mean. So over here, this is our control center. So we've got screens and buttons and our main control panel here. And then this area is what I carved out. So it's a nice big space. It's not been populated yet, but it's a nice big space that we can kind of do stuff with. You know, we've got enough here for a couple of floors. You know, we can make it interesting. You know, the color is pretty terrible, but you know, it's really an area to play with. But I wanted something that felt kind of like a fortified space. It is airtight. It's all, you know, everything's kind of working as it should. And we've got this this one here is for managing the batteries on the station. So we have some reactors, but I only want them on when the batteries aren't charged. We've got some. I don't know what I'm doing with this one. This one I think is one of them is for. Huh. I put them there for a reason, and I've forgotten what I was going to do with them. I know the inventory management one is over here. Oh, that's actually throwing an error, which might explain some of the issues that I've had. See if that fixes it. Okay, so there's an error here, which is probably related to I'm not actually sure. Maybe a group screen. It's definitely. Oh, now it's okay. Something looks like it's getting bought, so that's going to need a little bit of debugging. I'm going to have to go through the logs for that. But yeah, so here we are. I think it is good. It's not great. As this part needs decorating, but we can make it feel like a nice bunker-esque type thing with some social space and greenery and so on and so forth. Probably move the gravity zone. We still need to work downstairs as well on the tip of the station. I did, let's have a look. I did kind of block it off so I could keep this airtight, but we have a one of these rotary doors here. Yeah, I started taking some things out to try and kind of get this to be more purposeful, but I wanted this bottom portion to be like a hangar area, and potentially have some kind of drones that are deployed from here. This could be the place where we dock up from the our cargo pod, but I was thinking maybe about some kind of drones. I'm not sure yet. I'd like to use some drones, but I've never actually done anything with them yet. But yeah, so the station is here. It's working. It's looking okay. I'm pretty happy with how it's going. But I don't think I'm going to be doing much more to this place at the moment. I think I'd rather go off, and I want to do some work around the asteroid base that we have. And finish that off and then visit one of the other planets. We still need to do some work on GC, and they've been having more patrols in this area. There's a couple of ships that pass here fairly often. So I want to see what happens if the station handles itself. I doubt these solar panels will, which is why we have a couple of reactors on here. One question I do still have, and I need to figure out the answer to, is how to get these spotlights to properly lock on to aggro when it comes in. But yeah, that's good. I'm happy. And it's not super grey. I think maybe a bit more colour around here, maybe in this portion along that side. I did decorate and paint this portion. I think that looks okay. Still a little bit camouflagey, but it's got a splash of colour, a dash that kind of lines up to the original styling of the station. And given that we have magnesium and iron coming from our mining base down here, we have no problems with ammo anymore. So you know, we have a surplus. We've got a good 500 shells for artillery, and I think 1,000 for the autocannons. And then, you know, we've got unlimited energy for these turrets. So that's good. We haven't gone railgunny type approach for the station. We have a railgun on our main ship. And yeah, I think it's okay. This station doesn't have any refinery, and currently it does not have H2O2, which I am thinking of adding. Because given that we're now using the hydrogen donkey, I think it would make more sense, because I want to make sure that these tanks that we have on this station are filled, because I want this to be a fueling depot for this beastie. We have no problems with ice down on the planet, so I might shift ice up here. We have set up event controllers on the base, linked to the miners and linked to the PAM that's running on the base itself, so that whenever we get less than an industrial container full of ice, it will trigger PAM to go off and mine some more. And it does that for ice as well as the magnesium ore. And then basically it's constantly processing the magnesium ore into powder. Given the amount of powder that we have, I think we can buy pretty much anything that we want. But finding stations is going to be the trickier part of it. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, please do comment. Let me know. Please engage. I wanna chat, so that would be good. Talk to me, please. So yeah. There we go. So we will come back and tweak the cargo mode on the donkey hauler that we have. And then basically it will wait until it has a full load, and then it will come up to the station, dump it off, and then come back again. And it's got enough hydrogen storage on the donkey hauler to do 1.5 trips. It takes about 30%. So that's not going to be a problem. And it can refuel at the ground station. Cool, good. I'm gonna call it quits for now. I would like to be back later, but I've got a few things I need to do this afternoon. It's 3:45 p.m. here in Berlin, and yeah, I just need to get some things ready for when the Rugrat comes back home finally, and yeah. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, engage. Tell me what you think is good, tell me what you think is crap, and yeah, let's have a chat about it. Until then, take care, and I will see you again soon. Ciao, ciao. Something to help you fall asleep to.